Hello everyone, welcome back. I guess I'm not quite done with Spider-Verse yet, so this time around I'm bringing you guys everybody's favorite villain of the week.
What'd you call me?
This time around though, I'm gonna do something different that I've never done before. I'm gonna use the spot to make a picture frame diorama. In fact, I actually ended up making two of them. For this one here, I just downloaded a basic model and tweaked its pose and proportions until it looked like the spot. Originally, I only intended on making this one, but the picture frames I bought came as a 2-pack and I took that as a sign to make another. That's when I found this free amazing model of the spot from earlier in the movie, and I knew that this would be a great base for what I wanted. All I had to do was remove some of the pieces and tweak his pose to fit a picture frame. Unfortunately, I tend to do that kind of stuff off camera, so I'll try to do better with filming it in the future. Once I finish tweaking the models, I can get them sized and ready to print. To do that, I'll make a cube the same dimensions as the picture frame and then size the models accordingly. Now all I gotta do is hit print, and a couple hours later, here's the finished piece.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Well, it seems to be a common occurrence that something has to go wrong with every project, so this time around, my barely 3-month-old printer's LCD screen just decided to stop working. While I waited for a replacement screen, I figured I'd just cut the models in half and print them on my smaller printer. Now, I did say earlier that I was gonna get better at recording my modeling process, so here's some footage of me making a key for the two pieces. There are probably easier ways to get this done, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Honestly, for most of this stuff, I'm just making it up as I go and getting extremely lucky when it works, which is pretty much the same approach I take to everything I do. But hey, I usually manage to make it work in the end, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. With that done, it's time to load them up on my small but reliable printer's build plate and get them reprinted. And here we have what it's supposed to look like if you have a functioning LCD screen. And with that, the models are printed and ready to go. It's time to get to work. First up is the easy part. We just gotta glue the pieces together. I really like using this accelerator spray because it makes the bond stronger and it dries almost instantly. Now it's time to fill those holes. All we gotta do is put some epoxy sculpt in those gaps and give it a couple hours to dry. Once it's dry, a little bit of sanding will smooth it out and make that gap disappear. Now with all those holes filled and smooth, it's time to make more holes.
Can you stop talking about your holes? You're making everyone uncomfortable over here. No.
The reason I'm making these holes is because I love magnets, so I'm going to install some to get the figure to attach to the picture frame. Making a picture frame diorama isn't the only new thing I decided to do with this project. While figuring out how to make this background, I thought it would be cool to try hydro dipping. So I went out and spent a chunk of change on some spray cans and a container. And as I mentioned before, it was a 2-pack of picture frames, so I will be making 2 separate ones, although only one of them will be hydro dipped. The first thing I did was place the magnets where I wanted them, and then I glued them in place. Both of the glass pieces will be painted, so you won't be able to see the magnets and the cardboard in the back. Now it's time for the part I was most excited to try. I've seen a bunch of really cool videos on YouTube with this technique. Essentially, you just spray some paint on top of water and dip your object. I gotta say, for it being my first attempt, I'm very satisfied with these results. With the fun part over, it's now time to prime and paint the other glass and the models themselves. Now that they're primed, it's time to paint. This one here is from earlier in the movie, so he gets a base coat of white, while the other one is from later on in the movie, so he gets a base coat of black. What I'm doing here is tracing out the spots where I want the spots. Then I just crank out my airbrush and paint them. The same process applies for the spot himself, and I'll be using a poster as a reference image. Now that the first one's pretty much done, it's time to put the finishing touches on the second one. I'll hand paint these black lines on the background and also the white spirals on the spot himself. In the movie, it's more like squiggles than spirals, but I think spirals look cooler, so I took some artistic liberty. All that's left to do is assemble it and take the final shots. Now, making art is expensive and I can't phase through ATM machines.
Where are you, money? Where are you?
So I will be selling these as well as the Miguel from the last video. The link for those will be in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
No, I'm not gonna be some villain of the week anymore. I'm gonna crease your J's, Spider-Man.